Let's kick off today's video and talk about Shane Dawson, who might finally be returning back to the internet. And let me tell you, people are not happy about it.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
After months of silence following all the scandals where Shane was exposed of racism, pedophilia, along with his entire drama in association with Jeffree Star, Shane has made few appearances on social media now and then. While Shane, Ryland, and even Trisha have dropped hints that Shane will eventually make a comeback, there was no concrete evidence to show it. But with his latest post on Instagram, people are starting to think that Shane is officially going to be returning back to the internet, more specifically, YouTube. In the post, Shane mentioned that he wasn't going to abandon his 15-year-old channel and that he was just waiting to get into the right headspace to make his big comeback. Now, considering the fact that Shane was instantly demonetized by YouTube after he was exposed, it's going to be interesting to see how and when he returns to making videos. Moving on to another drama, this week, Kanye West had his first birthday after the big Kim-Ye divorce. This came right after the latest Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode, which aired where Kim was seen opening up about her and Kanye's relationship and what led to the breakup. Now, after all of that went down, Kim went on to wish Kanye happy birthday on his Instagram, saying that she will love him forever. Pretty cute, right? But when Kim's sister Khloe did the same, people were not having it. Khloe posted a picture of her and Tristan with Kim and Kanye, calling Kanye her brother and wishing him a happy birthday. Now, after this went down, people started coming for Khloe and saying that she was more loyal to Kanye than her own sister. Did she miss all the shit he publicly talked about her sister? Said a fan on Twitter. A user on Instagram went as far as to comment on Khloe's post, saying that Kim and Khloe's bond should be stronger than this and that it was extremely petty of Khloe to do this to her sister. There are so many other pictures, said the user, implying that Khloe could have used a picture of her and Kanye without Kim. Now, Khloe was not happy with this comment. She clapped back and asked the person to stay quiet because she didn't have any idea of what goes on behind the scenes. This is my family, not yours. Don't comment as if you're in the know unless you're actually in the know. Since then, neither Kim nor Khloe have responded to any of the drama. Moving on from that, it seems like Trisha Paytas is also in some hot water after they recently announced their own skincare line. Now, when Trisha announced this new venture, tons of people were extremely happy for the influencer to be moving on from all the drama in their life and using it to grow. However, what people couldn't help but notice was the fact that Trisha's skin in all of their skincare commercials was extremely smooth and shiny. Now, comparing that to her videos on YouTube, people saw a huge difference in Trisha's skin and immediately realized that they had been using a filter in the commercials, and people were not happy about it. I mean, why would you use blurring filters to promote a skincare product, right? Since then, Trisha hasn't responded to the criticism, but we have a feeling that people might not let this one go. Speaking of Trisha, it looks like she might be leaving Frenemies for good. After making Frenemies one of the most successful podcasts on YouTube right now, Trisha might finally be bidding farewell to us and her co-host, Ethan Klein. And let us tell you, the reason behind her quitting is a little scandalous.
Oh God.
Trisha has gone on the record to say that she is stepping down after a dispute that took place between her and Ethan over the way the show was being produced. It all started when Trisha called a new Q&A segment of the podcast Lazy and Dumb, and Ethan retorted back by saying that all Trisha does is show up for the podcast while everyone else tries to come up with new ideas. Then,
but he also got the 100% of the highlights, so technically 105%. And the highlights make a ton of money. I add the views about Frenemies highlights, I'm not about the HG highlights, I'm about the highlights, and that's like, it's literally probably half of what we make. It's a lot. I would guess anywhere from $50,000 to like $80,000 like a month. Like, that's just a guess. I don't know. I don't see the numbers. I never do. And I've always been fine with that.
Trisha went on to say that they contribute as much to the podcast as Ethan. According to Trisha, Ethan uses all of the money from the highlight videos for the crew and puts most of the money from the full episodes into production. But Trisha made the argument that most H3 employees have nothing to do with Frenemies, which is why they thought it wasn't okay for this to be happening. The argument between them soon interrupted into an argument over production expenses, the show's location, and advertising revenue. Trisha said that they're stepping down because it's best for everyone and for the tension to be released. Ethan then went on to reply to Trisha's statements by saying that his crew members were starting to receive hate from Trisha's fans, which just wasn't cool. The crew has done nothing but support them and work their asses off every week, and the treatment they are getting is unacceptable, said Ethan in one of his tweets. He also said that Trisha shouldn't be complaining about money because all the revenue from Frenemies is going into manufacturing their merchandise, which Trisha was of course getting an equal share of. He said that he had tried to approach Trisha personally, but she decided to air all the drama in public, which isn't fair to anyone. At the end of the day, Frenemies was a beautiful experiment that I will always cherish. I've learned and grown so much from the experience, and I have Trisha to thank for that. She's been a dear friend of mine throughout, and I'll always be grateful for all she's done for us, said Ethan as he bid farewell to the podcast. However, the drama doesn't end here. Trisha responded to Ethan's tweet about the merch and shared screenshots of their conversations where Ethan is talking to her about giving the money from their profits to the crew, decreasing the percentage of profits that Trisha would be getting. But Trisha's point was completely ignored because she referred to Ethan as Jewy in one of the texts, which is causing a lot of outrage because people believe that it was an extremely anti-Semitic comment. Trisha and Ethan continued to clap back at each other, with Trisha saying that her point was never about the money and that she was never rude to the crew members, unlike what Ethan had implied. Trisha also said that she was completely okay with receiving whatever money she was receiving, but what wasn't okay was the fact that Ethan misled her by saying that she was going to be receiving 50% of the profit, when Ethan wasn't even telling her what the actual profit is. Now, after all of this went down, Frenemies production crew Dan went onto the record to say that Trisha was under the impression that his girlfriend came up with the idea of the segment while she only put together the emails. Dan went on to say that Ethan has put the podcasts on hold until the situation calms down. Now, after all of that went down, Trisha once again went onto the record and apologized to Ethan, Sam, and Dan for her reaction to the whole situation. She said that she didn't want any drama and that this past year she had tried all she could do to avoid it. She went on to say that she wasn't looking for another chance with this apology and that she needed to figure out why this just wasn't working for her. However, Trisha said that she didn't want to leave things on a bad note, especially when everyone, including Ethan, had been so nice to her throughout the duration of their show. Trisha then deleted a bunch of her tweets where she was calling Ethan out for telling her that the crew didn't want to shoot with her after all of this. But since the apology, Trisha has once again started exposing Ethan and the crew for treating her harshly and saying that Dan has always been out for her, saying that she only started having problems with the crew when Ethan told her that they didn't want to work with her. Phew! Now that's a lot of drama. Since then, Ethan and Trisha have been going at it with one another, and it looks like their friendship is definitely in jeopardy at the moment, along with the future of Frenemies. Moving on to this video's last drama, Tayler Holder is now speaking out against his ex-boo Summer Rae after Summer has come out with allegations against Tayler, saying that he was extremely obsessed with her. Well, Tayler clarified the situation and said that he liked to be a nice person to everyone and didn't like putting anyone on blast, but his relationship with Summer was extremely toxic.
Banks and Keem's podcast was all false. It started off as like the whole relationship was low-key like super toxic. She broke up with me literally every week.
He brought up Summer's allegations against him, where she said that he was still seeing her ex while dating Summer, and Tayler clarified that he saw his ex one time at a party where he went to with Summer. Tayler said that his ex wanted to be friends, but he went over to her and told her that he was really happy with Summer and didn't think that being friends with an ex in this situation was okay. However, Summer completely misinterpreted this, didn't even hear Tayler out, and started cursing him out in front of everyone at the party. Every time we broke up, she would instantly block me on everything, he continued. He alleges that she had a meltdown when he traveled to Vegas one time, despite asking her to come with him and offering her to fly her out. He also denies crying about the loss of their relationship, and explains how he saw her allegedly hooking up with a friend of his shortly after the relationship. This nearly ended in blows, but they ultimately settled between them. Pretty toxic situation if you ask me. While Summer hasn't responded to the situation yet, we can't wait to see how this drama progresses.